Hi guys, welcome. This is a little bit different, not normal video that would normally put out. It's really just to say a massive thank you to you guys, you out there, because I've hit 1,000 subs. Yes, it eventually got there. It took a long time to get there. It wasn't really a target that I had in mind or anything like that. It's not really why I do this. I do this to interact with you guys, and I thought I'd do this video. It's going to be the team I support. I've supported all my life, since as far back as I can remember. The first match I ever went to, I think I was 4. My dad holding me up on his shoulders and stuff, like in the game. Don't remember too much about it, but you know, there is memories like sort of dotted about in there. Do you know what I mean? How things are. So that game over here will be playing. Don't worry, it's not frozen. Don't you know what I mean? It will be playing while I just talk through what I'm going to do with this video. Now, normally some people would do like Q&As. They do like just going back over old videos and stuff like that. And I just thought, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, it's kind of a big shout out really to FIFER. FIFER has brought out the new realism mod. It is going to be available to most people on PC within the next sort of like 5 days or so, I would imagine, along those lines. Don't quote me on that sort of thing, but yeah, obviously I've got early access to it at the moment, and I have spoke to him, and he's fine with me talking about it and stuff like that, so that is fine. And yeah, well, like I said, I'm going to show you the full game, because normally obviously everything's edited, isn't it? You don't see it, and I just thought if you can see what like the passing is like, the shooting, you get more of an understanding of like what he's really managed to do with it, in the fact that it's got rid of not all of the scripting, but a majority of the scripting that EA put into the game, like sort of thing, or as they call it, the dynamic decision system, or whatever they call it, like, you know what I mean, a bit like their microtransactions, which are known as surprise mechanics. But there we go, that's another thing. But anyway, like I say, I'm going to rabbit through this, like sort of thing. You'll get to see the game going on here, like sort of thing, so I'll let that like play in the background, you know, that'll kick off as I'm talking, and I want to go through what is in the mod. So I'll be looking over to like this monitor over here, so if I'm not directly looking at you, like I'm just looking at reading off like what is involved, you know, in what the realism mod and stuff like that. Now, I apologize to any of you console players out there. It's only for PC only, so I do apologize, guys. Like, I mean, totally and utterly blame EA for this, like, you know what I mean. So yeah, like I say, this will go on. I'm just now going to talk to you about what is involved in it, like, and then I'll talk a little bit about me, that maybe you don't know about, sort of a bit more about me and why I do this and stuff like that. So we'll get to that later on. But anyway, what is involved in the realism mod, right? Starting off with realistic sacking / the board and stuff like that. So the board is now more ruthless and can sack you even if you're only a few months into your like career mode and stuff like that. So that's a little bit different, which does happen in real life, you know what I mean. The League and European Cup is now more important than the domestic cups in terms of manager score and sacking. Made the gap bigger between financial strictness depending on the setting, 65%, 75%, things like that. Player sales go back into your transfer budget. So, you know, normally you'd only get like, you know, you don't get as much of the transfer budget back. It's going to be kind of more realistic depending on the budget of the club itself. Your manager rating now doesn't go up after a draw. You've got made all transfer budget remaining from the previous season added to the next season, which doesn't happen either, which is, again, you know, like I say, he's been working quite a lot on. Right, then we go into realistic settings. Injury returns are now more realistic, and players must play between 1 to 2 games to fully recover. So that is like, you know, when a player comes back from injury, they have to like have like a couple of games to get themselves back to match fitness and stuff like that. He's updated currency conversions, realistic gameplay. Now gameplay is now more consistent and in turn removes some of the scripting. Not all of it, you can't guarantee all of it, you know what I mean, but a huge chunk, and like I say, you'll see here, you'll when you get to play it, if you want to play it, you'll see also with regards to that. I just keep looking across to make sure that it's recording. So I've got 3 monitors, so I'm not bragging. I'll get more into that in a bit. But anyway, what else we got? Derby rivalry away are more important and also harder to play when you're playing in derby games. So it's not just your local derby. It'd be like, you know, like say when Liverpool play Man United or Manchester City, there'll be tougher games where obviously Everton is the local derby, you know what I mean? Literally just across Stanley Park, if any of you know Liverpool itself, like, you know. Then we've got realistic form. The form differs between players more. Match ratings reflect form better, so that's there. We've got the realistic GTN scouting. It takes less longer to scout a player. Scouting in their own league is now easier. Reveal level for info is now more realistic. Player data expires in more amount of time. Then we've got realistic job offers. You now get more job offers if you're doing well, less if you're doing badly. Only successful / well-known managers get offers from big teams. So we've got realistic AI team selection. This is a big one. So when the AI now put out their best 11, they'll always put out their best 11, but they also then will rotate their team if they're up against smaller opposition for, like, say, like if they're playing in a cup competition and they just feel that we can rotate the team, which is a lot of teams do with like the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, stuff like that. If you're playing in obviously foreign leagues and stuff, then, you know, the cup competition within those leagues before a big game. Players that are in form also get picked more often, which is something that the AI don't do with the normal version of FIFA. Realistic morale. We've got only players in and around the starting 11 can get mad if they don't get played, and will try to leave if they don't get enough game time. The reserve players are now happier with just a couple of starts, whereas normally you get, you know, that weird sort of situation where you get a player that you've just promoted from the youth team, and then they're like, why aren't I playing? And you're like, what, you've literally just come up, like, you know what I mean? So you won't get that coming up all the time as well. Realistic, it's going to be seeing realistic quite a lot, but realistic AI contract renewals. The AI now renew almost all of their players. This is not you, this is like the other teams that you are in the league, and they now renew their player contracts so that there are only a couple of like decent players that you can get like featured on stuff like that. So the AI and stuff like that, they don't tend to sort their contracts out and stuff like that, and they let them run down, don't you? You can go in and you can see like Dybala and De Gea, and I'm not going for all the D's, but you know what I mean, Messi, all that, and it'll say like 9 months left on the contract, and you're thinking that just wouldn't happen in real life. You know, they'd have sorted the contract out and it'd be harder to buy them, wouldn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So that has been sorted. We've got realistic player growth / decline. We've got players now grow partially based on form. We've got old players don't decline as fast. So in normal FIFA, when you get to 30, boom, they start dropping off. Not with this, not with the realism mod. It will gradually start to decrease, which is what would happen normally, but not the massive drop off that you get as soon as, right, players at 30, need to sell them, get them out of it. No, that's not the situation now. So players will be like more like in real life, where Ronaldo's and Messi's will play a lot longer and stuff like that. So basically the stats they lose is more widespread. So just getting to this, so Messi now doesn't lose like 10 to 20 sprint speed within, like, you know, the speed within season 3. Realistic player retirement. Now players will like play longer, so 35 and onwards they can even play to now. So that is also a good feature that's added. Realistic player values. Big players like Messi, Mbappe, Ronaldo, etc. are now worth nearly 200 million plus and very hard to buy. This is not only their value, but also their wages are also reflected as well. So it makes it a lot more difficult to purchase them, because they're like on maybe 600, 700,000 pounds per week, and it's like, well, my budget ain't going to stretch to that, like, kind of thing, which is, you know, how realistic it is, because you see it all the time, don't you? You go, right, I'm going to do I don't know, let me think of a team that's like Everton, for example. Right, going to go and buy Messi. Is not going to join Everton, but you can, you know, and that's where it doesn't become realistic, you see. And that's kind of like, just, you know, you can still buy him, but it just makes it difficult to do it. Players ask for more in top leagues and less in bottom leagues. So, you know, wages, again, you know, if you're in the top league, they're going to ask for more wages and things like that. The realistic scouting, 90 plus players now are rare to even find 5-star, weak foot 5-star, you know, stuff like that. You won't get 5-star scouts. You'll only get a few each time. It just makes it more realistic in the fact that it's harder to find that key player, which is a good thing, because you don't want the sort of database over flooding with like all these 90 rated players, because it just it just becomes totally unrealistic. So that is a good thing. Scouts are more expensive, and it now takes a lot of money to get good players. Heights for youth academy players are now more realistic based on their positions. So you'll have, like, 6'5" defenders rather than, like, more 6'5", like, sort of like wingers and right backs and stuff. It's kind of like that. It's more realistic on that. Work rates for youth academy players are now more realistic based on their position. You will rarely find a striker now with a low attacking work rate, so they're, like, also been affected. So if you're a striker, higher, lower defence, you get the gist. Skill moves and weak foot for youth academy players are now much higher and more realistic. No one star on wingers and stuff like that, because you wouldn't have a winger that's got 1 star like weak foot, 1 star dribbling. They would have better stats when it comes to that, but maybe not so if you're a centre back, for example. So that's been sorted. Realistic simming. So now teams actually, when you're like simming games and stuff like that, this is not just you simming them, but the other games that are playing while you're playing, you're going to get teams now that are going to finish in the league with like 85 points plus, getting up that way, like, which is more realistic. We saw that in real life with Liverpool and Manchester City finishing like nearly on 100 points each. Teams now also get relegated around about 20 points, like, you've got positions now that are more, this is bearing in mind the Premier League. The top big six that we all talk about will tend to like finish around the top six, like, it still can be varied and stuff like that, but it's going to be, those teams are going to be up and around that like sort of like mark. Goal scorers, i.e. like Kane, Sterling, Salah, players like that, are actually going to be scoring 30 odd goals a season rather than 16. You're getting goal scorers finishing the end of the season and the top goal scorers like 16 or 17. It's just not right. Top assisters now, yellow cards, red cards, they're all realistic as well. More injuries also happen within the sim games as well. Realistic transfers, loans, negotiations. Teams now don't stock up on one position, so you don't go to like one team and you see they've got like 8 right backs. No, doesn't happen. English teams don't tend to leave England now. They get more like staying within England, because not a lot of English players go outside of Europe. It's just Jadon Sancho's proven that, like, these young lads should go out more and get more of an European experience, but we don't. We tend to stick around England, don't we? So but that's how that is. Good teams do not sell bad players. More transfer occurs, and players don't move to rival clubs. So you're not going to get someone like going from Man United to Liverpool, Man City to Man United, Arsenal to Tottenham. You do get it, but you're not like you do in like in normal FIFA. A team's best players don't go out on loan. It's risky to do transfers on deadline day as you delegate, because it's now taking 3+ hours to get that deal done. So don't delegate on transfer deadline day. Teams and players now accept less low offers compared to what they would normally. More realistic league transfer interactions. You've got every time a player signs for a team, they always lose at least one potential. Realistic training. You can now train all the stats. Yes, composure, sprint speed, etc. Yeah, you can do that now. Realistic stats versus drills, composure for penalties, things like that. Training is also less OP. It's half as effective. Then we've got better menus as well. I've already gone through this, like, on the menus. We've got request funds is back. We've got squad report look in there. We've got injury list. We've got squad ranking. Old league table is in there. We've got also change kit number as well in there as well. Yeah, and he's just added, there's hundreds and hundreds of other realistic values and tweaks that are like, I've said it before, kind of like a swan swimming along and the legs going mental underneath, or a duck or whatever. There's a lot working in and behind the scenes that are making the game just look like this, much better. You can see, maybe I'm not the best at FIFA, I'm not saying I am, but as you can see, the majority of my passes are going in the direction of where I'm kind of aiming. I know you can't see where I'm aiming, but I think you get more of a gist of like thinking, yeah, actually it does feel like it's going where he's like kind of like aiming to and stuff like that. So, but there we go. That is the mod. Go check it out. There is down in the description, guys. Go check it out. Like, go to FIFA's channel. Go to FIFER's channel, I should say, and go check it out. He's got loads of like videos on there on how to like sort stuff out and how to mod the game and everything like that. But this will be coming out very, very soon, guys. So go check it out. Check him out, like, sort of thing, and go to his Patreon, and that way you can get access to it sooner and stuff like that, and support him, because he's done a fantastic job. He really has, like, in what he's done, and he deserves massive credit for what he's done. But there we go, like, you know what I mean? I'll probably rammed on, and some of you maybe aren't interested, and some of you console players are like, oh, I'm not really interested in what PC players have got, and I understand that. I just wanted to like give him like a massive shout out, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm doing this. Like I say, it's not about me getting 1,000 subs, it's about you, the community, and I wouldn't fall in love again with the game if it wasn't for this mod, because the normal FIFA is absolutely atrocious, and I'm hoping that FIFA 20 is better. This is like what I'm going to be talking about here. It gives me the opportunity to do so. I'm going to be playing PES 2020 as well when they both come out. So on the channel, it's going to be slightly different when the two games are out, and I'm going to do sort of comparison videos, and then I'm going to be doing comparison sort of like squads and stuff like that, and just see how the two games fare against each other. So that's something that I'm planning on doing in the future. There we go. Right. A little bit about me. Not got long left, you know what I mean, before the game is ending here, like sort of thing. Why do I do this? In 2012, January the 26th, I was travelling home from work on my motorbike, and there was a person in a car that was lost, and they decided to do a U-turn. I take it you understand what a U-turn is in certain countries. I don't know if it's called the same thing, but it's basically where you've decided you're going the wrong way and you want to turn back on yourself, and it's called a U-turn or a UE, or I think in Australia is what they call it, whatever. Didn't see me. That's his argument, and I ended up getting hit the side, like kind of where the passenger side is, and as he's turning, I've slid underneath. The car's gone over me, crushed all my side, like down my right side and stuff, and I was trapped under his car and stuff like that. And basically my life completely and utterly changed from there. I ended up with 27 fractures. I had my spleen was removed. I had a damaged kidney as well that's still damaged to this day, so it doesn't work fully well. So I've got 1 and a bit kidneys working. This is not a sub story. I'm just giving you why I started the channel and stuff like that. I can't really use my right side because I got damage to my spine, and what's happened is where spine parts of the bone that were damaged are now pushing against the spinal cord, which squashes like the nerves and stuff that travel through your spinal cord. And because of that, it affects on my right side. So I've gained quite a bit back. I won't gain probably any more back, but I won't gain full use back. I really struggle to walk, so if I go anywhere I have to be in a wheelchair. I can sort of like just about get up and use like sticks and stuff, you know what I mean, and everything. But like again, this is not a sub story. Some of you might be able to see there's a scar just here on my neck. I had another operation after the fact. I've now got a metal cage fitted in my throat that is trying to pull the spine away, but it worked for about 3 weeks, and I was able to walk, and then it failed again, and I'm back to square one. So I'm on a waiting list that's going to be probably another 15-20 years before I can possibly get the operation that's required. A spinal surgeon in Sweden is working on like techniques in order to sort something out, so that is what I'm waiting for now. Regards stuff, like I say, I don't want the violin out. I'm not trying to do a sob story thing here. I'm just trying to give you an idea. So I was pretty much fairly completely paralyzed completely down my right side for about 18 months after the accident. Couldn't do anything myself, like hardly anything at all. It was a really dark time. It was bad. Not a brilliant time of my life and stuff like that. And it was certain friends and stuff decided not to come and visit anymore, and because it was making them feel bad. Yeah, thanks to see me in that situation. Well, let's see how I feel. But anyway, I'm not trying to diss anyone here, like, you know what I mean. And yeah, it was just one person just happened to pop around and said, have you ever thought about like streaming, like, you know you like playing games and stuff, have you ever thought about using your PlayStation and streaming and stuff? And I was like, no, I've been to play games and things, but I've never thought about streaming it, like, you know what I mean. So yeah, I started doing it on my PlayStation, and I think I was can't think what game it was now, but it was going back. But I didn't used to play just FIFA. I was just playing other games and stuff like that, a bit of Witcher 3 and things and stuff, and just got chatting to a couple of people. They suddenly just popped on, and it was a surprise to me, and they started talking, and I was talking to them, and I thought, yeah, I'm actually starting to be able to communicate with the outside world, and made me feel that there is something, you know, and they were not in the best place in their lives. You know, someone was depressed, someone was, you know, had injuries themselves, not as severe, and we helped each other and talked and stuff like that, and trying to cut things short, like, and not drown on too much about my life, and just trying to give you an idea of why I started all this. And then I got into like maybe uploading some of the streams onto YouTube, and then I've worked my way from that, and this is all I've learned this all myself. I've done everything myself. Never really wasn't. I was played games before, done a little bit of computers in the past, but never to this level. Yeah, and then started up a YouTube channel, started up, you know, Facebook page, you know, Twitter, all that sort of things, you know, Instagram, everything like that. And yeah, that's basically how it all kind of started, you know, and that was, you know, 4 or 5 years ago now. And I've just sort of grown, and then I got into, like, I started doing a bit of FIFA, and humming and hawing about FIFA, because there's a lot of FIFA channels and stuff like that. And I just thought, let's try, and it's something I'm passionate about. I'm a huge Liverpool fan. Used to, you know, play in their academy when I was a young kid and stuff, and was a huge, like, you know, season ticket holder, and went to all the games and everything like that. And yeah, so I just started doing just FIFA on the channel, and you know, and that's kind of where I got to, really. And that's kind of where I am. And if you do want to know more, and you know, maybe I will do like a Q&A for when we reach 1500. How's that? Like, you know what I mean? Get to 1500 and I'll do a Q&A, and then you can maybe ask me more questions in regards and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to share with you why I started the channel. I don't do it for the money, even though the money's nice. If any of you, you know, are quite happy to, you know, like Tomo and Malcolm Musley and Long Live Pat do, they are Patreons, and you can pay a little bit like each month that helps, you know, towards like medical bills and things like that, and then that's great. And I'm not asking for it. I'm just reiterating, I'm not asking for it. Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, of course money's great, like, you know what I mean, why would you not like money, like, you know, but like I say, like, guys, you know, it's been a tough ride and stuff, and thanks to you guys, you know, you guys deserve more of the credit than I do, because you have to watch this ugly mug, you know what I mean, and put up with me and all my moaning and stuff like that and things. But I think I moan more because I'm passionate about football, and have been, like I say, since I was 4 years old. And football's been a huge part of my life, and it's a shame that I can't do anything about it physically anymore, but I can at least play it on you know, on here and stuff, you know, and it's just being able to interact with you guys, and being able to do this with, you know, the mods and stuff, putting you guys into the game keeps me going. And thank you so much for spending your time to give me all your details and stuff like that, and I appreciate it. And if, you know, I hope it continues, and I hope we do hit 1500 at some point in 2000 and whatever, and not because of those numbers, but primarily it's really just, you know, so that way I get to talk to more people, really, and that's kind of it. Like, so yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. I just want to say massive thank you again. That's all I can say. And I won't be doing any Lock of the Days. It's not that type of video. It's a special, like, one-off kind of video thing for now. And I'll be back on Monday, guys, for some more Cambridge and Youth Squad Stars. And if you are new to the channel, then please hit the old subscribe, not up there, but, you know, down there, but you know what I mean. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like, tell your friends about the channel, and yeah, hope your channels all do fantastically well as well, you know, and get the same support and as what you guys are giving me. So you take it easy. I'll catch you on Monday. Stay from Mumongu Gaming, signing off. Cheers.